Assalamu alaikum viewers. Viewers, today we will discuss about Pakistan affairs, a brief history from 1857 to 1947. This video is very important for all CSS and PCS candidates. So viewers, let's get started. Viewers, the history from 1857 to 1947 is divided into three phases. The first phase from 1857 to 1905, second phase 1905 to 1922, and the third phase and most important phase 1922 to 1947. Now let's discuss all these phases in detail. Viewers, let's discuss the role of Muslim community during first phase. That what role Muslims played during the first phase of the history. So let's discuss it in detail. Viewers, Muslims of India bore the main burden of the defeat in 1857 War of Independence. Three sons of the last Mughal Emperor, Bahadur Shah Zafar, were shot dead and their heads were presented to the Emperor. Viewers, after the War of Independence, Muslims were distrusted by British and they were humiliated by Hindus of subcontinent. The British believed that Muslims were responsible for the mutiny of 1857. However, the reality was different. Viewers, when Muslims were degraded or they were blown away, during such circumstances, the tower of support or the greatest personality was Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. He showed the right path to the Muslims of subcontinent. Now let's discuss that what role he played during that critical period of the history. Viewers, Syed's trinity of ideas, we know that his entire philosophy was based on three great ideas. And the very first and important idea was loyalty to British. So he preached that the Muslims, they must remain loyal to British government. And his second slogan or the second idea was devotion to education. He emphasized Muslims that they must be devoted towards their education. And the third important idea that he gave or that he preached was aloofness from politics. So these are the three very important ideas that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan preached during that important era of the history. Viewers, beside it, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan wrote some pamphlets. The first important is Essay on the Causes of the Indian Revolt. Now, in which he attributed the mutiny to British ignorance of Indian mind. This was a brave thing to do in that dark hour of biasness. In a well-argued narrative, he tried to show that there might have been no revolt had the British ruler been less isolated from their Indian subjects and had they kept in touch with the Indian opinion and sentiments through some sort of representative institutions. Now in other work, the Loyal Mohammedans of India, now he defended Muslims against the British charge of disloyalty. So in all aspects, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was trying to help the Muslims. He was trying to make their conditions better. Viewers, now let's discuss that about the educational institutions during that era. We know that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan has taught them to remain away from politics and they must focus on the education. So some major educational institutions were developed during this era. The one was created by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan himself, Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, and later on it became a university. Now this plays a very significant role, and the Western education was taught there. The second important institution was Darul Uloom Deoband. Now this institution taught religious knowledge, and the third important institution was Darul Uloom Nadwa. Now this was the mixture, its syllabus was the mixture of both Eastern and Western educations. So these institutions also contributed for the betterment of the education. Viewers, Muslims during the first phase of the history remained away from politics, and they were dedicated to their education. Viewers, now let's discuss the role of Hindu community during first phase from 1857 to 1905, that what role they were playing during this period. Viewers, Hindus were progressive and much better in education as compared to Muslims. They were loyal to British, they got good share in jobs as well. The Hindus had organized a congress in 1885, formulated their demands, and made the British aware of their existence and their aspirations. Viewers, Indian National Congress was established on the initiative of Allan Hume, a retired British official. Originally, it intended to help British to improve its administration. Remember, the Hindu leaders that blamed the formation of Muslim League that we will be discussing in second phase, that was created on the instruction of the British, but in fact it was the Congress that was created on the instruction of a British officer. Viewers, Hindus supported British rule in the subcontinent during first phase, and there was no question of freedom. During this phase, neither Muslims nor Hindus demanded for freedom. Now viewers, let's discuss that during this phase, what was the role of British, or the British, what they were doing during this phase. So let's discuss. Viewers, British never rejected any healthy activity in the subcontinent. They tried to give constitution to the people of subconstitution. Now, if we talk about the constitution, they gave the three major documents, that was the Government of India Act 1858, second, the Indian Councils Act 1861, third, the Indian Councils Act 1892. Now these are the three major constitutional documents that the British had given during first phase of the history. Viewers, now let's discuss briefly about the Government of India Act 1858. Now, in order to administer India in accordance with the proclamation, the British Parliament passed the Government of India Act 1858. Under this act, the territories under the control and administration of Company, we are discussing about East India Company, they were transferred to and vested in the Crown. The Secretary of the State, who was to sit in the Parliament, was empowered to exercise powers that were previously exercised by the company or the board of control. A council consisting of 15 members was established by the Act. Viewers, now let's discuss briefly about this document also. The Indian Council Act 1861. It was passed in 1861 to make provisions for the Council of the Governor General and for local governments of the presidencies and provinces of India. The Council of the Governor General was composed of 5 members, 3 to be appointed by the Secretary of the States with concurrence of a majority of the members of this council. The other 2 were appointed by the Crown, one being a barrister and other the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces in India. In addition to these 5 ordinary members of the council, the Governor General was empowered to nominate 6 to 12 additional members to his council for making laws and regulations. Viewers, the Indian Councils Act 1892, it was enacted in order to amend the Indian Councils Act 1861. The number of additional members of the Governor General's councils was raised from 6 to 12 to 10 to 20. The Act opened the way for the appointment of Indian residents as additional members of the councils of the Governor General, governors of the presidencies, or lieutenant governors of the provinces. The local legislature of any province was empowered to repeal or amend any law or regulation as to that provinces. Now, these are the 3 important constitutional documents that British had given during the first phase of the history of subcontinent. Now viewers, British taught 2 major things to the people of subcontinent. The first, constitution and administration. Throughout the history, they tried to teach constitution and administration. They were trying to control the people of subcontinent by giving some constitution. They were trying to improve their administration as well.